Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. What if the man you trusted to always do the right thing suddenly became the one everyone fears the most? Genoa City is no stranger to power struggles, betrayal, and shocking secrets, but this time something feels different. This isn't just another chapter in the ongoing feud between Jack Abbott and Victor Newman. This is something darker, something deeper, something that cuts through every relationship and every layer of trust that once held these families together. What start as quiet whispers, barely noticeable at first, quickly snowballs into a devastating revelation about Victor's past actions. And when Jack finally uncovers the truth, the emotional fallout is immediate and explosive. At the center of it all is Adam Newman, caught in a storm he can't fully control. Jack's anger, fueled by betrayal and moral outrage, turns directly toward Adam, not just because of what Adam may have done, but because of what he represents. As the truth spreads, it fractures the Newman family, shaking Nikki, Victoria, and Nick to their core. And as Jack becomes more consumed by his mission to expose Victor, the line between justice and revenge begins to blur in a way that no one can ignore. It all begins so subtly that at first no one really pays attention. A whisper here, a suspicious glance there, a conversation that suddenly stops when someone walks into the room. Inside Jabot, there is a tension that people can't quite explain, like everyone is waiting for something to break. Over at Newman Enterprises, it's even worse. There is this unspoken understanding that something big is being hidden, something no one wants to be the first to say out loud. And then there's Jack. At first, he's his usual composed self, calm, observant, always thinking 10 steps ahead, but you can feel it. Something is off. He's quieter than usual, more intense, the kind of quiet that doesn't bring peace. It builds pressure, the kind of silence that tells you a storm is coming. When Jack finally starts putting the pieces together, it's not just a moment of realization. It's a moment of transformation. You can almost see it in his eyes. The shock hits first, followed by disbelief, and then something much heavier settles in: anger. But not the loud, explosive kind. This is deeper, controlled, dangerous. Because what Victor has done this time, it's not just business. It's not just manipulation or corporate sabotage. It's personal, painfully personal. Lives have been affected, damaged in ways that can't be undone. And the worst part, it was all buried, hidden so carefully that no one even thought to question it. Imagine being Jack in that moment, realizing that someone like Victor, someone he's battled for years, has crossed a line so severe that it changes everything. You don't just get angry, you feel betrayed on a whole different level, like the ground beneath you isn't as solid as you thought. And then comes Adam. Adam doesn't even realize at first just how serious things are. When Jack confronts him, there's this charged silence in the room. You know, the kind where every word matters, where even breathing feels too loud. Adam tries to stay composed, tries to defend himself, but there's hesitation there. A flicker of doubt, maybe even guilt. He insists he was following orders, that he didn't even have a choice, that things are more complicated than Jack understands. But here's the thing Jack doesn't want to understand. For Jack, the situation is already black and white. Lines have been drawn, and Adam is standing on the wrong side of them. What makes this confrontation unforgettable isn't shouting or chaos. It's the opposite. Jack is calm, too calm. His voice is steady, controlled, almost eerily quiet. And that's what makes it terrifying, because when someone like Jack Abbott, who has spent years trying to rise above the darkness, finally snaps in this way, you know it's serious. He doesn't need to raise his voice. The threat is clear. If Adam doesn't come clean, if he doesn't help expose Victor, there will be consequences. And in that moment, you can see it hit Adam, that realization that maybe, just maybe, he's underestimated Jack. Meanwhile, the ripple effects of Victor's secret are spreading fast. Nikki is blindsided, completely shaken. She spent years of loving this man. defending him, standing by his side, and now she's forced to question everything. You can almost feel her internal conflict, the love she still has for Victor battling against the horror of what he's done. Victoria's torn in a different way. She's always been fiercely loyal to her father, but this pushes her to a breaking point. There's anger there, yes, but also confusion. How do you reconcile the father you know with the man capable of something so dark? And Nick has always had his issues with Victor, but even he isn't prepared for this. There's a moment where it just sinks in, and you can tell it changes something in him, like a final piece of hope has been stripped away. Back at the center of it all is Adam. Feeling more isolated than ever, he's stuck between two impossible choices: stay loyal to Victor and risk everything, or turn against him and face consequences he can't even begin to imagine. And that's where things start to get really intense. Because Jack isn't backing down. If anything, he's pushing harder, digging deeper, uncovering more layers of deception, and every new piece of information just fuels his determination. It's like he's on a mission now, one that consumes him more and more with each passing moment. But here's the problem. The more he pushes, the more it starts to affect everything around him. His relationships begin to strain. People start to worry. They see the change in him. Even if he doesn't fully see it himself, there are moments, brief, fleeting moments, where Jack seems to hesitate. Why do you think maybe he's realizing how far he's gone? But then he remembers what Victor did. And just like that, any doubt disappears. What makes this storyline so powerful isn't just the drama, it's the psychological depth. This isn't about good versus evil anymore. It's about what happens when someone who has always tried to be good is pushed beyond the limit. Jack's transformation is both shocking and heartbreaking. Because you understand it, you see why he feels the way he does. You feel his anger, his frustration, his need for justice, but at the same time, you start to worry. Because there is a fine line between seeking justice and becoming consumed by it. And Jack, he's walking that line dangerously close. And there's Adam. His situation is just as complex, if not more. He's not innocent, but he's not entirely guilt either. He's a product of Victor's influence, shaped by years of manipulation and control. And now he's being forced to make a choice that could define the rest of his life. That internal conflict, it's eating him alive. He can almost hear his thoughts racing. What's the right move? Who can he trust? Is there even a way out of this? And that's what makes this so gripping, because there are no easy answers. The impact on the Newman family is just as significant. This isn't just a secret being exposed. It's a foundation being shattered. Every relationship is tested. Every loyalty is questioned. And once that kind of damage is done, it's not easily repaired. Even more interesting is how this shifts the power dynamics in Genoa City. Victor has always been the one in control, the one pulling the strings, but now that control is slipping. And in its place, chaos is rising. And at the center of that chaos is Jack, a man who might be losing himself in the very thing he's fighting against. Honestly, I don't just see anger here. I see heartbreak disguised as control. And that makes Jack even more unpredictable. And Adam, he is no longer just a pawn. He is a ticking decision waiting to explode. What fascinates me most is this. What if Jack is right, but still goes too far and becomes exactly what he hates? Because let's be real, in a world built on secrets, the truth doesn't always save you. Sometimes it destroys you first. And here's the question that won't go away. If Adam finally turns on Victor, is that redemption or just survival? And even deeper, if Jack wins this war, what exactly will he lose in the process? I have a feeling this isn't ending with exposure alone. I think someone will make a move that changes everything overnight. And not everyone will walk away from it. Because in stories like this, the real twist isn't the secret. It's who you become after it's revealed. So now I'm curious. Whose side are you really on when both sides feel dangerous? And do you think Jack can still come back from this edge? Or has he already crossed it without realizing? Stay close because the next move won't just shock Genoa City. It might redefine it. Honestly, I don't just see anger here. I see heartbreak disguised as control, and that makes Jack even more unpredictable. And Adam is no longer just a pawn. He is a ticking decision waiting to explode. What fascinates me most is this. What if Jack is right, but still goes too far, and becomes exactly what he hates? Because let's be real, in a world built on secrets, the truth doesn't always save you. Sometimes it destroys you first. And here's the question that won't go away. If Adam finally turns on Victor, is that redemption or just survival? And even deeper, if Jack wins this war, what exactly will he lose in the process? I have a feeling this isn't ending with exposure alone. I think someone will make a move that changes everything overnight, and not everyone will walk away from it. Because in stories like this, the real twist isn't the secret, it's who you've become after it's revealed. So now I'm curious, whose side are you really on when both sides feel dangerous? And do you think Jack can still come back from this edge, or has he already crossed it without realizing? Stay close because the next move won't just shock Genoa City, it might redefine it.